Hello everyone, hope you guys are doing well. Today I am covering another important topic, and the topic of my video is the most probable questions the interviewer asks during an interview. Whether it be for a large corporation or new startups, job interviews are always a nerve-wracking experience. You might apply through different websites, different forums, and once you get selected for an interview, you begin to feel anxious and nervous about the range of the questions you are going to face. You need to nail the job interview and make a good impression, right? So that's why we are here for you. We cannot be certain about the exact questions of the interview. However, we have tried to compile a list of the most common job interview questions asked by the employers today. The first probable question could be, tell us about yourself. This question basically seems very simple, but believe it or not, many candidates fail to understand the importance of this question. Here the employer is not asking you for the detail about your life, but he is more interested in your skills, your experience, your educational background. Here the employer also observes your communication skills, so you need to highlight the key and important points of your career that would boost your chances of getting hired. Try to keep it light, keep it simple, but packed with a valuable information that would boost your chances. Moving on to the next question. The next probable question could be, why should we hire you? This particular question seems to be focused around you, but you need to make sure to involve the company's best interest. Here, the employer wants to see you how you differentiate yourself from others, and while in hope of differentiating yourself from others, many candidates end up blabbering about irrelevant things. You need to sell your knowledge, your talents, your skills to the employers, making them sure that you are the best fit for this particular job. It might be nice if you add some additional flares that may wow the employer, and it would compel them to hire you for this job position. The next probable question could be, what are your greatest strengths? Keep in mind that communicating your most valuable asset is a key. Make sure that whatever you list down as your strength must be relevant to that particular job position. Examples of the key strengths could be honesty, dedication, determination, discipline, eagerness to learn, versatility, creativity, originality. These are some examples that you might mention to your interviewer. When an employer asks you about your weaknesses, the primary reason for asking this question is to identify the indicators that may deem you unfit for this job position. So the challenge for you is to disclose your weaknesses by also backing it up with the improvements. For example, you could say that you are not good with the time management, but you can back it up by adding that you have cut down on procrastination and divided your work into the sections for the easy time management. So it's good to be self-aware and genuine about your flaws, and the employer wouldn't find it plausible. The employer wouldn't appreciate if the candidate said that they have absolutely no weaknesses. By asking you this particular question, the employer is not exactly interested to hear that you want to run the place one day or you can climb up in the corporate world, but rather he is more interested in knowing that where this particular job position could take you in your professional life and how that could become a potential bridge towards your goals and the ambition. So as a candidate, you need to be honest and very clear about your future plans. On the other hand, it is perfectly understandable if you are uncertain of your goals, but you need to let your employer know that you want to gain this job experience, as it would definitely serve as a vital stepping stone for your future plan making. When an interviewer asks you about this question,
you need to focus on the situation that had a positive outcome. When recalling the event, when recalling that particular conflict, you need to be humble, you need to be professional, as it would leave a good impression on the employer. Remember, it is important to be truthful and genuine when you answer this question, and you don't need to pretend. You don't need to pretend as you have never experienced a workplace conflict and you were a perfect workmate. For example, if you had a conflict with a workmate regarding any task, don't focus on how the conflict transpired, but rather what you did to resolve it. Remember, the employer here is looking for the authenticity and the self-reflection. That is, what was your input in order to resolve that conflict? Why did you apply for this job? When you are asked this question, you can then talk about how you want to help them on their mission or to achieve the certain goals, or that you are aligned with some of the core company values. Here, a candidate must do some research prior to the job interview, so a candidate can talk about the company's portfolio and integrate his long-term and short-term goals along with it. This would show the employer that you are truly interested and know a thing or two about them. If you have any industry specific knowledge that applies to this role, that can be a plus, but it's not a deal breaker. So you need to go ahead, a candidate need to go ahead and tell his potential employer why he finds their company so interesting. This may not be the case with every candidate because they might be new to the game. That is, they have not applied before or they have no work experience before. So if it is not the case with you, then you would need to learn some few tips. Your employer who is trying to hire you, who is in the hiring process, he would like to know that why are you leaving that previous job and what made you leave that previous job, and he would like to know that whether you are terminated or whether you have left the job unwillingly. So it might be a tricky question to answer. So you must need to keep in mind that you have to stay positive. Being positive would do more for you than being negative. Having a bad mouth, having a bad words for your previous employer, a company who is in the hiring process would give you a negative points. So you must avoid complaining, and instead you must tell them how you want to gain more experience, accomplish more milestones, and work in a place that is a better fit for you. Remember, if you were dismissed from your job, then you need to be truthful and straightforward. There is no reason to fabricate or lie about what happened. Trust us, your employer would find out one way or another. How did you find out about this job vacancy? This question is basically more of a routine survey for the company's marketing tactics, or so you don't need to worry about it too much. There is no wrong answer. Employers are not basically interested to know that you heard or saw the job ad on any particular forum or job seeking websites. Instead, you can mention that you heard it from a friend or a current employee, and you must express your excitement that would show the employer that you were specifically looking for this job. You can use this question always as your utmost advantage without coming off as needy. If you have a very good amount of work experience, then answering this question is not going to be difficult. But yes, if you possess a little work experience, this could be a difficult question. But that is why we are here for you. You don't need to worry about that. Accomplishments basically doesn't need to be work related only. You could mention the academic achievements or perhaps a volunteering job that you did and that improve your skills. It is always a good idea to connect your accomplishments to the job position you are applying for. So who knows, maybe you'll end up achieving a greater accomplishment with this new job